second rule for u of x equals x plus 3 squared, v of x equals 4x minus 7, and w of x equals u of x minus v of x. Use a table and justify your answer. Okay, so here's our table. So let's plug in some x values. I'm going to start at -2, and then I'm going to go up by 1, and you can pick any numbers that you would like. Just make sure you have 0 and 1 in your table, and then make sure that it goes up at a constant rate. Here, my constant rate, my delta x is 1, and so I am good there. Let's keep going now. So plugging in -2 to u of x, we get -2 plus 3, which is 1, squared is 1. -1 plus 3 is 2, squared is 4. 0 plus 3 is 3, squared is 9. 1 plus 3 is 4, squared is 16. And 2 plus 3 is 5, squared is 25. And then plugging in -2 to v of x, 4 times -2 is -8, minus 7 is -15. 4 times -1 is -4, minus 7 is -11. 4 times 0 is 0, minus 7 is -7. 4 times 1 is 4, minus 7 is -3. And 4 times 2 is 8, minus 7 is 1. So now w of x, just u of x minus v of x, so we can subtract each of these values. So 1 minus -15, I'm just going to write this out because a common error here is for it's minus a negative, and so that's going to be plus, so 1 plus 15 is 16. 4 minus -11 is 15. 9 minus -7 is 9 plus 7, which is 16. 16 minus -3, 19. And 25 minus 1 is 24. So now we can use our values to find the differences and find out what type of equation it is. So 24 minus 19 is 5. 19 minus 6 is 3. 16 minus 15 is 1. And 15 minus 16 is -1. So our first differences are not the same, so we keep going and find our second differences. So 5 minus 3 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. And 1 minus -1 is 2. Okay, so we did see that our second difference is the same, which means it's going to be a quadratic equation. So let's pull up some information that we've learned previously. So we know that 2a will equal the second difference, a plus b equals the first difference between x equals 0 and x equals 1, and c equals w of 0, or the y-intercept, the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. And then our standard form is w of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And we need to find a, b, and c. So let's start by finding a. So we know that 2a will equal the second difference, which in our case was 2. So then solving that, then we can divide each side by 2. So we get that a equals 2 divided by 2, which is 1. And then we can also solve for b. So we know a plus b equals the first difference between x equals 0 and x equals 1. So x equals 0, x equals 1, the first difference is 3. So a we know is 1 plus b is 3. So we can subtract 1 on each side. And so b will equal 2. And then lastly, c will equal w of 0. So w of 0 and x of 0 is 16. So we can just plug that in our equation. So we know w of x equals 1x squared plus 2x plus 16. And we don't need to put the 1 in front as coefficient. So our final answer with its justification is w of x equals x squared plus 2x plus 16, because as we recall from Chapter 1, Section 6 for quadratic functions, the value of c is the y-coordinate of the y-intercept 0c. The second difference is equal to 2a. The first difference between the y values for x equals 0 and x equals 1 is equal to a plus b. For w of x, the y-intercept is 0, 16. The second difference is 2, and the first difference between the function's output values for x equals 0 and x equals 1 is 3. Therefore, the quadratic function w of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, a equals 1, b equals 2, and c equals 16.